Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, JenksTCG. Today we're going to be taking a look at Darknes Ablaze, this new set that will be coming out very shortly. And yeah, let's get into it. I have a top 10 list for you guys of some of my personal favorite cards and an honorable mentions. If you have any differing opinions or want to share a card with me that I may have missed, go ahead and put it in the comments or join the Discord and put it there. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So I have a little PowerPoint here that I drafted up. I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Here's our first card, number 10, Big Parasol. This reads, as long as the active Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot, prevent all effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to all of your Pokemon. Now, this is a pretty solid card. It's ended at number 10 because I don't think it's going to be like a 4 of it in every deck, but this card is super good. It basically acts like a better Bent Spoon if you were playing in the time period and know what Bent Spoon did. It did the same thing, but only to the card it was attached to. And this card can prevent damage counter spread, which is usually one of the most annoying effects. Like Dragapult, that 5 damage counters wouldn't be able to go anywhere with this card on the active, and it prevents any annoying effects that might occur, like poison or paralysis, stuff like that. So any effects of attacks, Big Parasol is going to block it from the active and all of the bench Pokemon as well. So it's just like a better Bent Spoon, and expanded, it's going to be really big because it can stop stuff like Cross Divide and whatnot. So let's get into the next card. Next card we have is Hydreigon. This card I think has a lot of potential. So Hydreigon kind of acts similarly to Blastoise BCR with that Deluge ability, and it has the ability Dark Squall, which says as often as you'd like during your turn, you can attach dark energies from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So you can continuously do this and put a bunch of dark energies in play. And then it has, for 2 darks and a colorless, Jet Black Fang. You do 130, nothing too exciting, but there's the card notes. Like I said, it's similar to Blastoise. It has that Deluge type ability, but this time for dark energy, and that goes really well because there are a ton of dark attackers in this format. Stuff like Umbreon and Darkrai GX with that GX attack that prevents your opponent from playing trainers or cards, stuff like that. And we have Sableye and Tyranitar GX that can take extra prizes. There's just a slew of dark attackers that this card would go really well with those huge attack costs. And yeah, you can just rare candy this out and then slam a bunch of dark energies on your board and get going. Reason this is not higher on the list is because this card does need rare candy or to be manually evolved into a stage 2 in order to get going, and that can make decks that a little bit more inconsistent. So it's kind of that like high risk high reward kind of thing, and yeah, that's why it says it needs rare candy on the slide. At number 8 we have Hoopa. Hoopa has Assault Gate. The attack for 1 dark, it does 90 damage, but if the Pokemon wasn't moved from your bench to the active spot, it does nothing, and then the attack is not affected by weakness. Hoopa is very reminiscent of Zapdos from Team Up, and its main draw is just that 1 prize attacking dark Pokemon that has a Zapdos effect. So this Hoopa is going to eat up Jirachis all day, and yeah, it's a 1 prize attacker, so you're not giving up too much. You can get some good chip damage in, single energy attachment, although the one reason this isn't exactly like that Zapdos is because the HP in this format, or the coming formats, is going to be a lot higher than when tag teams just got released. I know, crazy to think that we could have stuff bigger than tag teams, but yeah, that's one reason. And this card doesn't have electro power, so your damage is a little bit more capped. But Hoopa is a pretty good 1 prize attacker. You could see this in like a Spiritomb box or something like that to add more attackers. And overall, yeah, a solid card. So coming in at number 8 is Hoopa. Coming at number 7, we have Birdkeeper. This is a pretty interesting card. It doesn't seem too powerful at first, but it's actually just a better Tate and Liza. It's a draw supporter, and it has a switch effect on it. The Birdkeeper reads, switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, and if you do, you can draw 3 cards. So this kind of takes the Tate and Liza effect of you can either shuffle your hand, draw 5, or switch your active. Kind of combines them, and in addition to that, it's draw 3, not shuffle draw 3, so you can kind of build upon the hand you already have and get those switch effects, and this would pair well with stuff like Hoopa or Zapdos or whatever it may be. And overall, it's just a generally good supporter that we always could use more switch effects and stuff like that. Coming in at number 6, we have the Rose and Rose Tower combo. This is a pretty interesting set of cards. I think by themselves they aren't too spectacular, but together can be very powerful for some VMAX decks when that mechanic gets played out more. So Rose says attach 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon VMAX. If you find any energy cards this way, discard your hand. So you might be thinking, that's not very good, that seems a little troublesome. Well, actually, we have Rose Tower, which says it's a stadium, and once during each player's turn, that player may draw 3 cards until they have 3 cards in their hand. So with the Rose in the title, you can kind of see the synergy. You can Rose discard your hand and then draw 3 with Rose Tower. Stuff like a Rangaroo is going to be able to give you, more search and whatnot. And overall, it's a really good combo to get some energy acceleration going. It's really strong for VMAX decks. It's energy acceleration and it draws cards. So overall, not a bad combo. Next up, we got Salamence VMAX. I'm also going to cover the Salamence V in the next slide just to get a little bit more knowledge. But Salamence VMAX has, for one color, Sonic Double. This attack does 40 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. This is very similar to stuff like Kyogre EX from way back in Dark Explorers, and overall is just a nice damage spread attack. And then we have Max Wings, which does 240. During your next turn, you can't use Max Wing again for 4 colorless. So this is compatible with Welder, is going to give you a very good option for a super strong colorless attacker. This also pairs well with Powerful Energy, which we're going to cover a little bit later in the video, which gives colorless attacking Pokemon 20 more damage when they are attacking. So overall, it's a really good card, 320 HP, and you have Salamence V that sets up damage with its attack. But I think Salamence VMAX has a lot of potential to be a pretty good deck. So here we have the Salamence V. The main thing here is Swoop Across for 3 colorless. It does 30 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. And then for 4 colorless, Heavy Storm does 160. So it has 220 HP. It's a pretty big guy. The main problem I see with this card set is they're both weak to Lightning. And Pikarom will likely still be pretty good next whatever format. So yeah, that's definitely my one concern. But I think that this set of cards is actually pretty good and has a lot of potential with stuff like colorless support and Welder. The next card we're going to cover, my personal favorite, Vikavolt V. Now this card is very similar. Well, it's not very similar, but it's similar enough to Seismitoad EX in that it has a item lock effect. Not quite for the broken DCE, but for lightning colorless. Paralyzing Bolt is going to do 50 damage, and then during your opponent's next turn, your opponent can't play any item cards from their hand. Effects like this are usually very, very strong, and I think pre-rotation Vikavolt V is going to have a lot more potential than post-rotation because there is electro power and stuff like that. But you can use Tapu Koko Prism or Thunder Mountain, depending on the format, to kind of take away the 2 attack cost and just turn into 1, and then that Koko Prism at the same time will let you set up 2 Vikavolt Vs, so then you only just need the lightning energy attachment per, making it kind of like 1 energy attachment. But overall, Paralyzing Bolt, very similar to that Quaking Punch on Seismitoad EX, and then for 2 lightning and a colorless, we have Super Zap Cannon, 190, discard 2 from this Pokemon. So it kind of takes some of the stuff that Seismitoad didn't have, like Grenade Hammer only did 130, but now that we're in a format where stuff has higher HP, Super Zap Cannon does 190. And yeah, overall, this is my favorite card. I just really like the item lock cards, and 210 HP, 3 retreat costs. It's a little heavy, but yeah, so we have Koko Prism, kind of acts like DCE. Item lock is always super strong, and it has that one-shot attack potential. When paired with other annoying cards like Crushing Hammer or Yell Grunt or whatever, I'm pretty sure this card's going to be pretty good. So yeah, that's my favorite card in the set, Vikavolt V. Let's get on to the next card. Alright, here we have Eternatus VMAX, or Eternatus. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it, but this is kind of like the big boy of the set, the one that everyone's talking about. It has the ability Eternal Zone. If all of your Pokemon in play are Dark type, you can have up to 8 bench Pokemon, and you can't put any non-Dark Pokemon into play. So yeah, this is very similar to like Mega Ray and Skyfield, but we actually don't have Skyfield, so Eternal Zone is gonna let you bypass that 5 bench restriction. Then its attack, Dread End, 30 times. This attack does 30 damage for each of your Dark Pokemon in play. So once again, very similar to Mega Ray, and it's just gonna do that damage cap of 270 because it's Dark Pokemon in play and not on the bench. And 340 HP Behemoth, compatible with other Dark Pokemon. This card is going to be a monster, and it has the regular Eternatus or Eternatus that has some pretty good attacks as well. There's an attack that does damage based on if your opponent's actives a VMAX, and there's another that does energy acceleration. So overall, this card's crazy. It definitely deserves the hype, and I would not be surprised if this is a tier 1 deck whenever this gets released. So definitely one of the most hyped cards. Go into the next card though. We have Turbo Patch. this card is pretty crazy. Energy acceleration has always been good. I would not be surprised if this card lives up to the hype. Flip a coin. If heads, attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon, basic Pokemon that is not a GX. So this is going to accelerate to Vs. I don't even want to think about expanded because too many possibilities there with EXs and whatnot. But overall, this is a crazy card just on a coin flip. So your odds of hitting heads are pretty good if you play 4. And it's compatible with Vs. The energy acceleration is powerful on a coin flip, which is a little bit downside, but I feel like a card that just says attach a basic energy from your discard to a Pokemon would be kind of broken. And yeah, it can get any basic energy. So this card is definitely insane and will probably shape the format in a very like turbo fast way. So excited for this card, but a little worried about its power. Now, before we get to our #1 card, we have some honorable mentions. These are cards that are just outside the top 10 and have potential. There are several good cards in this set, but these are the 4 that I felt deserved the spot on the PowerPoint. But yeah, that's kind of the whole point of if you have any cards that you want me to talk about in a stream or something, go ahead and put them in the comments, or you can go join the Discord and we can talk about it there. Sorry for the stutter. So here we have Bunnelby. Now, Bunnelby is just one card of many that has the Mad Party attack, and the Mad Party attack says it does 20 damage per Mad Party attacking Pokemon in your discard. So very similar to Night March. And the reason it's an honorable mention and not in the top 10 is I don't think there's enough discard to get a ton of these guys in the discard and hit those big numbers. So that's why it's just outside the top 10, but it's probably going to be a pretty good single prize attacking deck. Oh, another thing, there's no special charge. So you really just have the 4 twin energy, and that's about it. So you could use triple acceleration and stuff for the other Pokemon, but that's one of the main concerns, is just not having enough energy. But yeah, Mad Party definitely could be decent in the future. Another one we have is Familiar Bell. This goes well with Mad Party. In addition to, this could replace cards like Evolution Incense. Not for sure though, but say you have an Evolution in your discard, you have a basic in your discard, you can use Familiar Bell, which says any Pokemon that are in your discard, you can play the bell and go search for that Pokemon in your deck. So very good. It has a lot of potential, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it replace certain search cards in certain decks. And then the last 2 honorable mentions, we have Powerful Energy, as I referenced earlier. That's going to boost colorless damage by 20. So any colorless Pokemon that have potential now have more potential because of this card that can increase that damage, especially in a format where HP just continues to go up. And then the last energy, or the last honorable mention, is Hiding Energy, which is that special dark energy. It's going to give free retreat to dark Pokemon that it's attached to. And wow, this set just has a lot of dark support, and Hiding Energy definitely helps that. So you can have a Hydreigon deck with dark attackers and then give them all free retreat. It's overall a very, very good card. And got to be worried about those pesky Giratinas, but other than that, it could be a pretty solid card overall. And then our last but not least card, Crobat V. I think this card is a 10 out of 10, one of the best cards we had printed in a while. Crobat V has that Dark Assist ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may draw until you have 6 cards in hand, but you cannot use more than 1 Dark Assist ability each turn. So very reminiscent of Shaman EX, except for the limitation of 1 per turn, which is an excellent change because it's going to prevent stuff like we haven't expanded. But this just increases consistency, and it will likely shape the format with the way that we can play decks now that we have Crobat V and Dedenne. And yeah, it's a very, very good card. It just increases consistency, and it's nuts. And in Expanded, you now have cards like Lele, Dedenne, Shaman, and Crobat. In Standard, you have Dedenne and Crobat and Research. So overall, a crazy good card. And then its attack for a Darken and Colors, it does 70 and then poisons the opponent's active. So very, very good card overall, and goes really well with Eternatus VMAX because it's a dark Pokemon. So you have draw in that deck as well. So those are going to be my top 10 cards plus honorable mentions. This has been my Darkness Ablaze card list, I guess. We're going to have more content on Darkness Ablaze starting in the coming weeks. Deck lists, battles with other players, and stuff like that. So I want to thank you guys for watching. All the links that you will need to stay updated with me are in the description. Join the Discord, go like my Twitter, whatever. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Hit the notification bell to always be updated when I'm uploading. And thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.